Hey everyone, today I want to talk about how you can build like unshakable levels of confidence. I think really for success, a lot of it is working really hard, right? And like putting in the right amount of volume and speed, but it's also building a lot of self-confidence. And that's really what happens. It's a byproduct of constantly growing yourself. But let me explain a little bit more about this confidence aspect, because a lot of people say just have confidence, believe in yourself, don't worry about like what other people think, and don't worry about what they're judging you for. And it's a very easy thing to say. But the real confidence, the real self-confidence is actually built. So it's not something you can just fake. Because you may be telling me like, well, Ryan, like, isn't confidence just something you just fake it till you make it? Well, not really. Because that's just like superficial. That's not actually going to last. Inside yourself, if you fake confidence on the outside, you still know you're not what you're talking about, right? And you still feel like very kind of nervous and maybe not super sure of yourself. And all those things can tell. Like when people look at you, they can tell you're actually not confident, even if you try to fake it. So what's the answer then? What actually builds confidence? Let me tell you guys from my personal experience, of just like grinding for the past 6-7 years or so. It's really just the fact that you've put in more work than all the people there, or at least you're putting in more work now and you're really hustling and hurrying and just, grinding to get after it. And also too, that you've taken more risks, you've failed at more things, and that gives you confidence. Let me explain exactly how that gives you confidence. Imagine you've took a huge risk, right? And then you failed at it. Imagine that's like one of your experiences. You just had this terrible failure. A lot of failures for most people are like career ending. They get so messed up by that failure, they can't even continue on. But then imagine you get back from it, right? And you actually can like elevate yourself and learn from it and then be successful after that. So because you already took that failure, you know what your bottom line is. You know that you're willing to take risks, and you know that worst comes to worst, you can actually just handle it. You've been in bad situations before. You will continue to be in bad situations. But having that confidence that comes from having gone through failure is really the key. So even if maybe you're not super confident about what exactly you know in that situation, or, maybe like the knowledge aspect of it, you can be confident that yourself and your own abilities, that you're going to figure it out. Which is so important, because a lot of this like life is so much unknown. We're not going to be able to know everything to feel confident. So you have to just trust yourself that you're going to be able to figure it out no matter what happens. Even if you fail, you already know what failure looks like and you're not afraid of it. And those two things, that experience of failure as well as seeing yourself rise from it and your own capabilities, is actually what builds your self-confidence. It's not from just doing some like meditation. It's not from doing some sort of mind ritual. It's from actually doing things in the real world, failing at them, learning from that, and doing that again and again, to the point where you're not fazed when some new big challenge emerges, because you know that you're going to try your best, you're trusting your own capabilities, and you know that even if worse comes to worse, if everything hits the fan, you're still going to be able to somehow save it after the fact, even if you fail. So many people out here are afraid and not confident because they haven't accepted that failure is part of the process. They're still super afraid of failure. And this gives them some sort of paralysis. They have like decision paralysis because they're afraid of failing. They're afraid of doing things. And that just leads to a general lack of confidence in yourself. Because if you're afraid to do stuff, when something goes wrong, do you trust yourself to actually handle the situation? Do you trust yourself to actually like do the right thing and do whatever you need to do to finish it? You probably can't. So I just want to give you guys some insight into that confidence is really just built. You can't build confidence overnight. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're very low confidence, it's going to be something that definitely takes time. But the fastest way to do it is just start going out there, working very, very hard and taking risks. Like imagine you go to work. And yes, there's somebody who's maybe more successful than you, or they know more people, and you're at some sort of disadvantage. But for a fact, you're putting in more hours every single day to improve yourself. It doesn't even have to be work necessarily, but just improving yourself, and you're working and you're just grinding, for more hours. You have in the back of your head, you just have this idea, that you're working harder than them. And that's a little chip on your shoulder. That you're out there just putting out more work, and that their workload is nothing compared to you. I don't know why, you may be asking me, Ryan, why does this matter? Well, it's really that that's a big differentiator. Once you have that in your mind and you realize, wait, this person's not as scary as I thought. Because a lot of times, if somebody's above you or they're more experienced, more successful, they can be extremely intimidating, and it'd be hard to find that confidence in yourself. But if you start with a very strong work ethic, right? Very strong, you just start to notice, wait, I'm working harder than him. That means this guy's actually not lazy, but he's not working very hard. And that means he must not be that scary actually, because I'm working harder than him. And then that's the first step towards building that confidence. And then once you start to uncover the rest of the stuff and you start to progress past them because you're just working so hard, you start to realize, wait, they're not so scary. I'm actually capable of stuff. And then all of a sudden, this newfound confidence emerges within you. It's something that takes a lot of time. I'm going to be so honest. It takes me years and years and years to kind of develop some kind of the confidence like this, to really just be able to throw yourself out there into the unknown and just trust your gut instincts, even though there's so many variables and things that could change. But the truth is, once you have this confidence, it applies to so many different situations. It's just like how a soldier goes through that basic training and develops all the skills that are necessary. So even when they go to war, they may not know what lies on the battlefield, but they know what they have as skills and they know they can figure it out. And that gives them confidence to rush into battle, even if they have no idea what the enemy is going to be. So because of that, really focus on, intentionally experiencing things, working, grinding, failing, and reflecting on those to try to build your own confidence, because it's something that takes a long time. But once you have it, it's something that really, really does not go away. Like, yes, there may be some huge failure and that may alter your confidence for that time being. But for the vast majority of things, it's something that stays with you and it's something that's just going to lead to so much more success, because whatever starts within eventually shows externally. And when you have such a big mindset shift and you actually are confident in yourselves, it just begins to radiate outwards to everybody else. And then they all start to trust you more as well. So I would say really focus on that confidence aspect. And again, like all things I said, right? It all kind of starts from the work. If you put in more work, you're going to gain more confidence. If you fail more, you're also going to gain more confidence in that that you're able to learn more. You know that you're able to take those risks that most people aren't willing to take. And you know that you're eventually going to make it after, learning from your failures. So a lot of things in this world are scary. They're daunting. They seem intimidating. But really, if you build yourself up, you'll be able to handle a lot more and you'll be able to be more successful. Yeah. If you guys have any questions, leave them down below. Otherwise, follow and subscribe for more.